Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Floris. I'm joined here today by Nils,
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
and we will be casting the game between Thoron's Weakside and Zephyr Griffin. Let's dive right into it. The teams seem to be ready. What can we expect from today's match?
Well, these teams have met before, and it was a very close series, actually, one-on-one. So I'm hoping to see something similar this time. Very close games, very exciting fights. These players all like to play aggressively and not sit back and skill. So yeah, I'm very hyped for this match.
Nice. It seems like the players are ready to start the draft, and we will switch right over to it. The draft has already begun. As you can see, the Xayah has been banned from Weakside. So, as you said, they met before. What is the history like in the Academy League for these teams?
So these teams are both very much fighting for the top. They're both very flexible in their picks and even their roles. Sometimes they swap roles, so they have to. It's very hard to target ban people because sometimes they play in a different role. As you can see here, it seems like Weakside are just banning strong picks that Zephyr has played before. Same for Zephyr. The Diana Yasuo combo was utilized in a previous game of Weakside. I'm not sure if it was against Zephyr, but they played it a lot. So maybe there's some lingering trauma there. For the rest, some target bans to the for the Samira and Gwen as well. There are two one tricks on that team. They play off role here, but still they worry about potential role swaps.
Exactly. So we've seen in all the previous Zephyr games that every game that they've won, they had a Fed AE carry. And a lot of times this was either a Xayah or a Varus. So here you see the fear in Weakside's eyes that they do not want to face a Fed Xayah or Varus. On the other side, we have a Samira band that's I think focused on Infernal Trigger.
Yes, I believe so.
But he's playing mid lane, so it's kind of a wasted ban. But again, you cannot really ban this bot side from weak side because they swap roles all the time. So the AD carry goes to support, support goes to AD carry. So if you target ban one, they just swap roles.
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder if they have a potential strat where when Inferno triggers, Samira is not banned, he actually goes AD carry, and then they switch around with the mid laner. So they would just want to avoid that risk. So that's why they ban it, just in case, you know. So for the B1, there's a Cho'Gath pick. This is likely going mid lane, actually, because the mid laner plays a lot of Cho'Gath. But perhaps they can flex it between top or even jungle and AD carry. I'm not sure. So it's just a strong, flex pick here for them. Meanwhile, Ziz have gone for the R1 Annie, which is a very strong pick in the meta currently. It can go many roles as well, mid or support. And generally, it's weak to long range mages. So we will see if Weakside can counter something like that, or if they have already decided that Cho'Gath will go mid.
To jump in, they failed to do this draft, so someone failed to log in time. So they are restarting the draft actually. And
all right.
yes, we're starting anew. I'm guessing the same bands and same picks. Yeah, you have the Xayah ban again. What did they do to the Diana, Gwen, and the Samira ban? Yeah, Varus.
And now Varus and Jace.
Exactly.
I actually wonder about the Jace because typically for the DSL matches, the top laner from Zephyr likes to play tanks or Ilawi. So perhaps they have some pick ready that's easily countered by Jace that they want to go for. Or maybe they just don't want to deal with it because I think it's currently very strong in this meta. So yeah, indeed. So far up, everything is the same. Cho'Gath B1, this will be the Annie, most likely then. And I do not see... Oh.
There are again technical difficulties. The Zephyr cannot lock.
They cannot even pick, actually, it seems. So
again, the draft has finished without a full team.
Note, by the way, that this is a new LS website, so perhaps it is one of the unresolved bugs still in there. It was released like only a week ago, so yeah. Are they switching to draft lol now?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So I will have to make a new source for this.
Yeah, so like I said, it's a new system. I do hope we'll be swapping over to this one, and I do hope that this will really start to work properly soon, because the layout and the functionalities of this site are very good, and it just looks really nice, you know. So I hope we can make this the new standard if it works properly, of course. So yeah, please hold on while we get this this fixed.
Exactly. It seems like they're already in their champ select. I just have to get this working again.
You know the one GIF of the dog from Wallace and Gromit who is riding on like a cart, and then he puts the train rails in front of him as he does with the cart. Yeah, that's what we're currently doing.
Exactly.
Thanks for sharing the link, but we have the link already. It's just that the layout of that website is different from the drafting.gg from LS's website. So if we just switch over, then the little boxes and the nice interface, the nice UI doesn't line up anymore. So we have to make a new one.
We're gonna just go completely bare bones on this. I'm gonna screen capture it. No, where is it? Yes.
Yeah, that's our option now. We're just going to share the screen directly without.
There we go. We're just gonna bare bones it.
There we are.
In the meantime, we have a Cho'Gath, Vhagar, and Wukong on Weakside, and an Annie Sejuani on the Zephyr side. So what are we looking at here? We see Cho'Gath and Vhagar are both completely scaling picks, right? And we said they don't really like to scale, maybe? Are they looking to change that?
No, I think they're just going to play these champions aggressively early game as well. I do not think these will just be the sit in the tower and farm kind of playstyles, especially with an aggressive jungler like Wukong. So yeah, it seems that Zephyr is going for kind of an engage comp. Both Olaf and Sejuani really want to engage onto the enemy and stick onto them, and with help of any CC, this will very much be possible, especially against picks like Cho'Gath and Wukong. For Vhagar, it will be a bit more difficult because his cage can shut down a lot of the engage from Team Red. But
though Olaf can just run right through, right? So
exactly. So it's a very strong 1-2-3 from Zephyr. They have clear identity. As for Weakside, I think they just want to layer their CC abilities on top of each other. Put them in the baby cage with Vhagar, and then use both Cho'Gath AoEs and Wukong knockup to have like a small wombo combo kind of thing.
We're seeing the Seraphine ban. So Zephyr has once played Seraphine Lux on the bot lane, so I'm guessing they do not want to face that. And we see a Sylas ban. Now, this has some backstory. So, Weakside has some spicy bot lane matchups that they have played in the Academy League. 3 times they played Sylas on support, 1 time match with a Karthus on the bot lane. So this Sylas ban is actually targeted at the support of Weakside. So
likely, yeah.
People are wondering why Sylas is banned after Vhagar was picked. This is why.
I also am not sure completely yet that Vhagar is going mid lane, because you can flex Vhagar into bot and then put Cho'Gath mid, depending on the matchups. Same on the side of Zephyr is they still can flex their Annie into mid and support. I think they'll put it support now that they see the Sona, because that's quite a good matchup, especially with the Ezreal. Lots of poke, lots of kill pressure onto the Sona if she ever gets caught. So I think that'll be the matchup, but actually, looks like it's going to be Yasuo mid or top. Yasuo top? This is a spicy draft. Like I said, these players are very versatile and play many different champions in many different roles. So
I think you were right. I think this is Vhagar going bot lane, and they have this Yasuo Cho'Gath combo with a very nice knockup. Especially after you hit a Sona stun, then you just have this free knockup from the Cho'Gath.
So or a Vhagar cage, right?
Exactly.
They really nicely continued on with the wombo combo style here. They just all have to press their big AoE or CC abilities, and they should win the fights easily if Zephyr ever manages to if they ever group up or have two carries close to each other. So the final pick on R5 for Zephyr is Vex, which is another diver along with Sejuani and Olaf. So the only pick I don't really like here is Ezreal because he's very mobile, which is very nice against their team. But whereas his team wants to all go in, he doesn't really want to go in. He just wants to stay back and poke. And that's very hard if there are 4 people diving on top of you. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah.
Exactly. So Zephyr banned Diana, and Weakside just went, okay, we don't care. We will just grab the Wukong into the Yasuo.
Yes. And then putting the Veigar in bot lane means they have enough AP damage to have a nice damage profile. So because that's the risk, right? If you run an AD mid jungle, then it's very very likely to go a very heavy AD, or you need some extra AP from either top or like here in this case the AD carry, bot laner, I guess, AP carry. So yeah, very nice adaptation.
I think in here they really played it out well. If they put the Veigar on bot lane and they have the Yasuo mid lane, they still have enough AD damage, especially with the Wukong in the jungle.
Exactly. It's a nice balanced profile. And on Zephyr Sis, they don't have to worry about that because they go standard, well, not a standard mage, but a standard AP carry in mid lane. So both these teams have actually very nice rounded comps. And both actually also have a lot of incentive to buy both Merc Threads and plated steel caps. And you can only buy one, so that's also a nice benefit. So what I mean by that is that for Weakside, they have a lot of CC abilities that you want to mitigate with the tenacity from Merc Threads and a bunch of AP damage as well. But they also have a lot of auto attackers. Like the main focus of Team Weakside is still the Yasuo with all the setup for him. So steel caps really shut him down because he's very auto attack reliant on damage. And plated steel caps, I do believe they also reduce the damage on his Qs. I think.
And then I'm not sure.
Something similar for Zephyr Sis, where Merc Threads are very nice for the any stun and the Sejuani CC, but then you also have Olaf and Ezreal in there as auto attackers. So I'm very curious what these tanks mostly will go as for boots.
Exactly. I think on the side of Team Weakside, it's going to be very tricky somewhere in the mid to late game for Veigar and Sona to walk around the river safely, as as Zephyr has the Sejuani. So the Sejuani dash ult into an immobile team is going to be very dangerous.
Yes, for sure. And they have a lot of follow-up on pick potential, with both NECC and Ezreal being able to, at long range, help with damage, maybe even throw an ult.
Exactly.
And the same with Vex.
Exactly.
So vision will be very important for Weakside in the mid to later stages of the game.
Indeed. So we will probably see quite some vision wards around Dragon somewhere in the mid game.
Exactly. So as for scaling, I actually think that Weakside, well, they have 2 infinite scalers, right? They have Cho'Gath and Veigar in there. So you would think they automatically outscale. I think it's still close. It's definitely playable for Zephyr Sis if it gets to the later stages. But I do think that Weakside outscales actually. So another thing to note here is that Sona scales incredibly hard secretly. Many people don't know this, but Sona is one of the best scalers in the game with how her passive works and the amount of free ability haste and ult CDR she gets. It's very hard.
Please do explain. How does Sona scale so hard?
So for Sona, if you hit your Qs onto enemy champions or you use your W and champions that are affected by it get a shield and they get hit and the shield is damaged, then you get a stack of your passive, and for every stack you gain 0.5 ability haste. And if you are at 120 stacks, then for every time that happens, you don't get a stack anymore. You're maxed. You get 6 ability haste, but then you instead gain cooldown reduction on your R. I think it's either 0.5 or 1 second off of the current cooldown. So that, alongside with just the incredible amounts of shielding and mobility she can give by just spamming all her abilities off cooldown, it's very hard for the enemy team to do anything against that.
Indeed, sounds luckily, like Weakside is going to look to stretch it out this game.
For sure. Luckily, there's a very big counter to Sona. It's mainly just kill her. He's very, very squishy, even in the later stages. He does build some HP, but if there's an Olaf running at you or an Annie flashing on top of you, it's very hard to survive. So that's the main counter. Her positioning will be very important, especially since there is a big front line, but they do need to all engage. So there might not be any people close to her if she stays too far back.
Exactly. So we see like Zephyr Griffin has quite a dive team with the Sejuani, with the Vex, with the Olaf. And then on Weakside, you have quite some kite with the Wukong, the Sona, the Cho'Gath, the Vhagar. However, once the Olaf starts running at you in his ult, what are you going to do as a Sona? You can't ult him. He can't get stunned, so he'll just run at you, throws the axes. You'll get slowed. As a Sona, you really have to get protected by your Cho'Gath. They have to burst down this Olaf if he starts running at you. Otherwise, if this Olaf gets to the back line of Weakside, the team fights will really turn into Zephyr's favor.
Yes, I think so too. With 3 melees on Weakside, I think if the backline cannot one-shot the Olaf in time, then there's nothing stopping him from just auto-attacking away. So one of the counterplays to this would be to kite out his R. Just make sure that he can't hit anyone while he's in his R form, but that's very hard if you're trying to wombo combo the enemy team. So indeed, I think that would be the main way the team fights play out for Zephyr's is it's follow up on the Olaf engage, trying to make sure he can play the fights well. Alongside with the support jungle CC and backup damage from the Ezreal and Vex. Yeah,
we speculated that Olaf will be playing quite a big role in these team fights. However, from the history of Zephyr's, we see that all their focus has gone to their bot lane. So they basically funnel everything into their AD carry and then expect to win. So what do you think their game plan was going to be? Do you think they're going to funnel everything into their AD carry, like always, like they are used to? Like this is their trusty game plan? Or do you think they can adapt to this game and think, okay, we're going to feed the Olaf and also hopefully get this Ezreal ahead so that Olaf can run down the backline and Ezreal can just poke down the front line?
That is a good question. I do not think the top matchup is that interesting because Cho'Gath versus Olaf is winning for Olaf, but it's not. If the Cho'Gath plays it well, he can just go even or fall a bit behind. But I don't think there's a lot of pressure to be gained there unless they will be going for early dives, which they could for sure. But I guess in Cho'Gath, I think that's kind of risky with his rupture. I think the bot lane is a bit more interesting as they have a lot more setup for the Zephyr Ziz side. The Annie stun it outranges or can outrange the Vhagar cage if you space well. So that along with a Sejuani Q flash perhaps can really shut down the squishy Vhagar and Sona because they are very squishy, right? They do not have a good way of building defenses early. And especially with the mage support in Annie, it's very they have a lot of base damages early game as well.
Exactly, and the only pick potential they really have in the early game is the Vhagar cage, right? But then you have the Ezreal with both the arcane shift on his E, the flash, the cleanse, and then you have the damage of the Annie ignite. They're really looking to win this bot lane, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. Another one of those lane advantages that Zephyr has is the Vex in the mid lane, because as you know, Vex is an anti-dash champion, and one thing that Yasuo really likes to do is dash a lot. So she'll be getting a lot of passive stacks from that as we load into the game. So that would be another point of pressure for Zephyr, but I do think the mid lane will mostly focus on moving to other lanes instead of there being much action around it.
So we're having some technical difficulties with the spectator mode. It has kicked us out because it was unable to load the spectator data. So this is a Rito moment, as we will try to reconnect to the game. If you see a black screen, that is correct. I also do see a black screen as the loading screen is not yet there.
Exactly, and I also lost the draft actually, but it's fine. All right.
Okay, so there's a loading screen.
Yes. So as for Weakside plan in this early game, I think they might be looking to just scale, but the Yasuo is definitely, like I said, one of the main carries in this team, as there's so much setup for him. So they might actually, the Wukong might hover around mid to make sure that Yasuo can farm safely. He should be able to in this lane. I do not think the Vex has a lot of kill pressure on Yasuo if Yasuo spaces it well. His wind wall really is like his big savior if he ever overstays or overextends. But like I said, the auto attack damage from Vex passive can really do some damage if he's not careful with his dashes. So random dashes on minions just to get the last hit is like very discouraged. It's mostly less just like if you want to go in and trade, then you use your dash, and if you want to get out to safety, then you use your dash, but not for anything else, as it does add on to the passive stacks of Vex.
So for some reason, we're in the game, but the game does not run. I can't press play or anything. A classic Rito Games moment.
Okay, meanwhile, I'm going to talk a bit about Summoner Spell and rune choices. Things to note is indeed the cleanse on the Ezreal, as was said before. Very good against the enemy team. There's a Sona stun, which is very hard to react to if you flash stun it, or the Veigar Cage, which you shouldn't need it as Ezreal, but it's the extra safety, and I can very much understand that you don't want to rely on having your E up at all times to make sure you can jump out of it.
All right, we have loaded in the game. Thank you for the tip for clicking on the time bar. I did not try that yet, and that seemed to fix it. So finally, we are in the game. We see a lot of things from blue side trying to go for this top side invade.
Yeah, they are grouping up as 5. I wonder if they found something that Kaiser Spinku did many games in a row, where there's a certain bush that he likes to hide in, and they spotted it. They are going for the invade here.
Well, they're spotted by the Olaf, so there won't be a surprise now, right?
Yeah, and slow from the X to make sure that there's no real follow-up, real possibility of a catch. They're still moving as 5. Do they just want to get the ward down here? Yeah, it seems that. So they want to know where the Sejuani starts.
Yeah. So both teams got a ward on the enemy red side now, so there's not really any benefit gained from this invade.
Good point. Meanwhile, during the invade, a classic move is for the team members on the opposite side to do a counter invade. So now indeed there's information traded. You can see that indeed. Both junglers starting on the bot side, they're passing towards top lane actually. Which I think is slightly surprising, but perhaps they think this Olaf will be playing a lot more aggressively.
Exactly.
He does have the Ghost.
Exactly. We see the Ghost on the Olaf and the teleport on Cho'Gath. And I mean, Olaf will run down Cho'Gath in the early levels anyway, right? So.
Yeah, Cho'Gath has to be careful. He can farm from range, but his Q costs a lot of mana in the early game. It was buffed on the most recent patch, but it's still very expensive to do that every time. And indeed, the Cho'Gath Ghost is also a very good scaling similar spell as there's nothing really stopping him from running down people. So if he can stick onto the targets, then he can keep hitting, and that's the most important thing. So high move speed means that you can stick onto your targets better. And yeah, he will give up possibly some CS due to not having teleport, but that's a trade he's willing to make.
What are items when you can't stick to your enemies, right?
Exactly. It's nice that you have an extra death dance, maybe, but if you don't hit, then it's like, yeah, you're not doing the damage that you're supposed to. So it's the most important thing. We can actually see that bot lane has prio here, the Veigar Sona. It seems that Ezreal's level 1 is not as strong as they would have liked. So they do have the prio here. It doesn't really matter because both junglers will be on the top side, are already on the top side, and both teams should know that. So this is basically just stacking up for Veigar. As you can see, He's hitting those last hits with the Q. Yeah. So interestingly, the Sona actually has the relic shield.
Olaf is actually going into their jungle.
Oh, good one.
We're having some.
He's actually invading on the blue buff here.
Yeah.
Trying to do some things.
Oh.
Wait, there's a first blood.
Wukong has my. Oh my god, there's first blood on mid lane.
First blood on mid lane. Oh, that was a solo kill.
That was a solo bolo on the mid lane for the Yasuo. Vex is 1 down, and she does have teleport up, but decides not to use it.
The fact that camera, how do you feel this? Okay.
Oh, that was me. I wanted to see the invade, and then I missed the first blood for. I switched away from directed camera for 1 second, and then I missed the
immediately.
First blood.
There's a kill. So in your defense, that's a very sloppy death against Yasuo. He did use the ignite. So
Ezreal actually jumps forward. The ignite coming in from the Annie, and Veigar is getting bursted down. Now Sona is running for her life. There's a Q from the Ezreal, auto attack, Q, W, both on them. Actually, Ezreal flash, but the Q is blocked by the melee minion. So there's a lot of flashes burned on the bot lane. There's a flash from Ezreal, flash and heal from Sona, ignite and cleanse on the side of Zephyr, and only 1 kill goes to the side of Zephyr.
Yeah, so like I said, these are not players that would like to sit back and scale. Even if they pick scaling picks, they will fight in the early game and will go for those 2v2 fights. In this case, it turns out to be Zephyr Ziz who
Olaf manages for the trade, even though there's a huge wave. He gets knocked up in the wave. This is an early fight. He is level 4 against level 5 Cho'Gath inside of a huge wave in this early stage of the game. That was a losing trade for Olaf.
He does have 2 cookies, and Olaf does get a lot stronger when he's at low HP, so he's really playing on his limits here.
Oh. Not good from the Yasuo, going in for some poke, but nothing more.
Yeah, but this is unfortunate, because Vex will have to base quite soon. She cannot stay here when Yasuo is level 6, it's way too dangerous. And she doesn't have TP, so she will lose some CS at some point there.
She does have TP at the moment. Olaf is going in for another trade. He picks up the axe. He gets Conqueror procced, and he goes for the solo kill.
Oof.
A clean, calculated solo kill, actually.
Good point. I thought Vex TP'd back to lane after she got solo killed, but she actually held it, so now she can base TP, which is very good. And for the top kill, that was indeed, like I said, it's very deceptive how strong Olaf is when he's at low HP. You think he's almost dead and you can kill him and win the trade, but then he attacks so quickly that it's and has just enough lifesteal to make sure that he lives there and gets the solo kill. Even manages to push out the wave and have it crash before Cho'Gath could TP, I think. So yeah, that's it's a good early advantage from Zephyr Ziz.
Exactly.
On both the top and bot lane.
So let's talk about this mid lane matchup. What do you expect to happen after level 6?
So at level 6, Yasuo is definitely in the advantage because Yasuo is already ahead, and even if they're even, the Yasuo should win the 1v1 if he ever gets on top of the Vex. Okay, I'm was about to hold my point, but there's nothing going on here on top lane. Sejuani is still looking, actually.
Yeah, there are 3 people from Zephyr on top lane and 2 from Weakside. Actually, direct camera is gonna move there. Yes, so Olaf is looking. Yeah. They now spot the Wukong as well. The dodge from the Olaf on the Q from the Cho'Gath, really well timed, and they just pick up a clean kill for Zephyr with the Vex ult coming in clutch, but not necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Vex was level 6, so she started to roam already towards top lane. And, well, let's just say it was indeed just to make sure.
Oh my god, the Annie flash into nothing. They did give up 1.5 plating for the Yasuo. Oh my god, that was a good fear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So in hindsight, Vex didn't need to move, and it would have been better if she stayed. But well, you don't know that. And if you're going for a play like this, then it's better to just make sure. Especially because Vex is also behind. So the less time she spends inside the lane and looking for opportunities, the better. Because you know, if you're not in lane, you can't get killed by the Yasuo.
Exactly.
Very good tip.
I mean, if you can't get ahead yourself, get your team ahead, right?
Exactly, that too. Vex also knows that this Olaf is... if the Olaf gets stronger and she gets a bit weaker, then that's worth, because the Olaf is very well situated in this game, in this draft.
Yasuo is looking... Oh, the wind wall blocks the skill shot from the Vex. That's quite clutch.
And I think actually what I saw there was that the empowered auto attack from Vex does not get blocked by the wind wall. That's interesting. I do not see Vex often, so I do not notice this interaction. But it looks like it's more like a grasp instead of a skill shot, a projectile. I do believe that it doesn't get blocked by the wind wall.
Which is almost got to pick up for the side of Weakside. Cho'Gath roamed all the way to mid lane just to stand there, and now he's running back to his lane in order to catch his wave.
Cho'Gath has the same idea as Vexia. Leave the lane to look for opportunities elsewhere.
Now Vex has some kill pressure on the Yasuo though. She has ult in like 5 seconds. She's gonna walk forward for this kill, right?
Does he Yasuo know that?
Oh,
no,
the wind wall is coming down. Vex has Fear up, she has ult up, she's looking for this kill, right? Olaf is coming down as well. Yasuo's in a sandwich here. Feared by the Vex. Now Yasuo tumbles in. Oh, but the Vex just gets the kill without...
Doesn't even need the R.
Exactly. Yeah. Doesn't need the R, doesn't need the Olaf. Olaf is walking back to his lane as we look for a dive on bot lane for Zephyr. Actually, no. Wukong flashes into the mid lane but gets feared away by the Vex.
Wow! Yeah, beautiful fear, beautiful fear. That's indeed... it was well played by the Vex before with the W guaranteed fear into the rest of the damage to Q and auto attack. And indeed, in that point, Yasuo can try to dash away, but that only gives Vex passive stacks, so she can charge up her auto attack quicker. And very, very clean damage on the kill there. And then getting away from the Wukong by fearing him perfectly well as he jumps in. It's very well played. Vex is back into this game.
Meanwhile, they spotted Wukong on the other side of the map, so they decided to Drake. That's a really nice, clean and safe Drake. Now, Olaf is actually looking for the solo bolo in the jungle. They knew Wukong was there. They knew Wukong was there, and Olaf was just like, okay, I see you, and I'll come for you.
Yeah, he was supposed to be playing Weakside, but for Olaf that just means that he can kill the enemy jungler and take his blue buff. Yep, exactly. This jungle belongs to Olaf now. He is very ahead.
Snack the jungler, snack the jungle camps, and now they're looking for a 3-man gank on mid lane without even the jungler being present. So he burned his wind wall already. Now he's dashing through the minions, getting slowed, flashes through the chickens. This is actually going to be a chase. Oh no, he's turning onto the Sejuani. Sejuani stuns the Yasuo and they pick up the Yasuo and the kill goes to Olaf. Now the Olaf is 4-0. He has double buffs. He didn't go back to base to cash in, I think. No, he's 1.6k gold. So he's picking up the farm. He's going to go base, and then he has a lot of gold to spend. So this Olaf is going to be an absolute monster in the next phase of the game.
He can probably finish his Hydra fairly soon, which is insane. Very strong first item for Olaf. Gives him a lot of wave clear and a lot of sustain. He already has the Vamp Scepter for the lifesteal, I believe. Yes, so that's indeed, he'll be very happy for that. And this is going to be so scary for Weakside in the later stages.
Exactly. As we said, Olaf is gonna be the one to run down the backline of Weakside, and they're playing accordingly.
Exactly. In this bot lane, actually, Zephyr is also doing very well. You can see that Ezreal already has his item.
Oh, flash! Ult from the Sona. The Annie doesn't not have. Oh, she does have flash, but she doesn't have stun, and she goes down. The ignite is on the Sona, but not enough damage. Ezreal is just looking to do some return damage, but nothing fancy there. So the Annie kill goes to... Who was it? Veigar.
Yes. And she decides to hold on to the flash, the Annie.
We also ult onto the Vex. Vex has fear, so there's no follow-up damage from the Yasuo there. Now the wind wall, another knockup from the Yasuo to the Vex. Vex has to flash out, otherwise he would have gotten killed by the Q auto attack there.
Yes, very high action game we have here.
Indeed.
So as I was about to say, the Ezreal already has his Essence Reaver, so he's very strong, but in that fight, 3v2, it's very hard to actually contest, and actually Annie saving the flash is very, very curious. Perhaps she thought she was already dead, even after flashing out of the cage. Or she wants to save it for a better opportunity to get a shutdown onto a Yasuo, for example,
actually,
with the flash stun.
This whole minute was quite decent for Zephyr, as they saw the Wukong gank on bot lane, they instantly turned to grab the Herald. So now Zephyr has the Herald. They still have 1.5 minutes to pop it before the tower platings fall. So we are gonna see some action around the Sejuani looking to pop this Herald.
Yeah, they get both early objectives, and they're currently at the 2k gold lead. It's looking very good for them.
Exactly.
You can see the mythics being complete, or the first items being completed. They actually have two champions who do not like building mythics. Both Olaf and Ezreal tend to be allergic to mythics. They will have 3 or 4 items, and then they're like, "Wait, I need a mythic actually."
Exactly. They're just burning the things on the clone. Exactly. We have the Hydra on the Olaf. We have the Iceborne Gauntlet on the Sejuani. We have the Luden's Echo on the Vex, and Essence Reaver on the Ezreal. And then on Weakside, we have no completed items yet. So currently, Zephyr can just look for any fight they want.
Yeah,
as they are doing.
Will actually, looks like Vigor will actually be going for the
the 2-man stun from the Sona into the Yasuo ult. Now they are getting chunked by the Wukong as well on the backline. Yasuo gets out, he heals the Sona heal, but Annie picks the kill anyways. Sejuani is still looking to kite back as Wukong flashes out, and only the Sona kill and the Yasuo kill. Actually, no, the Yasuo and the Vex die. Sorry. That was a lot of action. This is a high action game going on here.
Anyways. Yeah. Okay, so it actually took a long time for the Vex to die there, making it a 1-for-1 even in the end instead of a 1-for-0. The Yasuo dying because he had to stay so long to deal damage. It's actually surprisingly tanky. I don't know why it took so long. Perhaps the Wukong and Sona being there, making it look like there's more people or more damage. So yeah, and it's a decent play, 1-for-1. I think as Weakside you have to be happy about this. If you're behind, trading even is good. Because it means that the enemy is not getting further ahead. Oh.
Just seeing some skirmish on the mid lane, nothing spectacular. Actually, the Q from Yasuo misses. He blocks then the Q from the Vex. Another knockoff misses from the Yasuo as they just take 40% of each other's HP bar.
Yeah, dude, every time we look at this lane, I feel like someone is going to die. It's yeah.
We see Sejuani on the Dragon as Sona is face checking this brush against the Annie. But there's only just a couple of HP slices missing.
Yeah, so Annie's actually going for the Shurelias in this game, which is a good idea. They already have enough AP damage, but that means she doesn't have the burst to kill a Sona like that. Exactly. She would need follow-up at this point in the game anyway, but yeah, we can already see that it's indeed hard for Sona to face check, to face vision against the Zephyr's team.
So Olaf just picks up the first tower as he has a 40 farm lead and just absolutely rolls over this top side of the map. And indeed, we see the Annie going for this Relios gold here, which is a really good pickup for her if she finishes it and they enter the mid game, because then Olaf has the ult, he has the ghost, and then the Shurelias from the Annie.
Yep.
And as the monster he currently is, that's just a real threat for Weakside.
Yeah,
knockoff from the Yasuo into the Q, and that's just a clean kill for Yasuo. But then Olaf is there with the ult, with the flash. The flash from the Yasuo, another cleaver actually misses. Sejuani is here as well with the ult, then Annie with the stun with the ult, and then Wukong gets stunned into the Olaf kill. What a turn of events.
That's a very messy fight there. Olaf taking the 1v2.
Ezreal cleanse.
Nah, they're fine.
And the ult misses.
Everything's good.
But then another kill goes to the Olaf. That's quite worrying.
True. That only means the shutdown will be all the more juicier when they eventually, maybe, will get it.
Exactly.
I'm actually not sure if this Olaf can ever die in this game. But yeah, no, he just goes for the 1v2 because he knows he has his team back up and the team follows up. Very nice fight there. Indeed, another kill to the Olaf. He's just, yeah, he's going to roll over this map.
Yeah,
he
exactly
can just take whatever he wants.
As soon as Zephyr makes a mistake by not backing up the Olaf enough, or when Olaf oversteps and they get this pickup, they're gonna have a lot of gold on their hands.
Wow, that's actually a Veigar flash. Interesting. Perhaps he was afraid of the Annie stun or flash stun, but actually Annie's flash is just barely not up yet. Maybe that's a timer.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's
a bit overestimated.
Confusion.
So yeah,
Weakside
actually also picked up their mythics now on most of the champions. So the gap is a bit smaller. Instead of half an item to a full item, it's now a full item and scraps versus a full item and a bit less scraps. So I think Weakside can actually contest a bit better now. And we did say they outscale, so maybe Zephyr is not actually far enough ahead to be able to win the late game team fights. And this Yasuo is still very strong.
Olaf is in a pickle here. Nope, actually he has the backup from the Annie. That instantly ulted. Vex is coming in with the ult as well. And they just escape.
Yeah, it looks like Weakside does not want to give up this Herald so easily. They do see that Ezreal's bot.
Oh, the Wukong ult into the Yasuo ult is completely obliterates the Annie. Now, the shutdown from the Olaf goes to the Cho'Gath. Now, Sejuani is in a pickle. She tries to dash over the wall, but it gets body blocked by the Wukong. And then 3 kills go to Weakside. This is the fight they've been waiting for. The shutdown from the Olaf. Oh my god.
Yes. So I think they went for this fight because they saw Ezreal in bot, and Veigar was matching him, but Veigar has TP and Ezreal does not. So Veigar could join the fight before Ezreal. Luckily, that wasn't even needed. They just get the 2 kills outright, and indeed, it's a very big shutdown onto the Cho'Gath. He's very happy about that.
Exactly.
I would say it would have been better to have it on the Yasuo or the Veigar. So in this case, probably the Yasuo, or maybe even the Sona, because Cho'Gath is like a tank, and I'm not sure he needs to be this strong inside the game. He doesn't really need the front line. He just needs to hit his CC abilities and chomp someone, as he did in the last fight.
Exactly. Well, as you said, the Olaf gets stronger as he gets low, so don't take any chances, right? Just kill him and then hope for the best.
Yeah, and actually Weakside does have a lot of good execution damage for both the Veigar R and the Cho'Gath R being able to instantly kill low health targets. So that is another defense mechanism they have against the Olaf. It will be hard once because he has his Jaksho now actually, so he is an item ahead of most people in the game. Actually, Veigar is the only one matching him, which is surprising. Because Yasuo is a bit more fed, but I guess his items are more expensive, and that's why Veigar is already 2, and Yasuo is still looking for a bit more gold for his Infinity Edge. So yeah, those are currently the 2 strongest members in the game regarding items.
We see some vision wars around the dragon as the second or the third Drake of the game spawns actually. Now Vex is looking to face check, but has to flash out of the baby cage.
Yeah, her team does have a good setup around the Drake now, but she can't enter from the bot side of the jungle. She'll have to walk around if she wants to enter and contest.
Sona and Veigar in a sandwich. Yep, the ham is in the sandwich. Vex goes in the baby cage, but is that enough? Yes, Sona's stunned. Oh, the Sona gets chopped down by the Ezreal and then picked up by the Vex. Vex has to reset on the ult and gets stunned by the Sejuani, and then the double kill goes to Vex. Now they are looking for more. Vex has to reset on the ult again, then jumps into the Cho'Gath, and then the Cho'Gath gets picked up by the Annie. That's a 3-0 for Zephyr Griffin, and Zephyr Ziz. My apologies, as they pick up the Drake.
Yeah, so the Vex was actually really patient there with going in on the R onto the Cho'Gath, because I thought she was in range of the feast, but it turns out she could just barely R in and fear the Cho'Gath to make sure that she couldn't die. Very patient. Also, the Sona had a very unfortunate flash into the Ezreal R, but yeah, definitely nice catch by Zephyr and a good pickup for the Drake. Exactly. This Ocean Drake is very useful for them. Gives them a lot of extra sustain in fights. More healing when they already have like an Olaf. I think Weakside will definitely have to pick up some anti-healing at some point. They have a Thornmill already on the Cho'Gath, but I am not sure if that's going to be enough.
Indeed.
In the later stages of the game.
So the positioning of the Sona and the Veigar there was just trying to get a catch on the Vex, but they were in vision. They knew they were there, so they just became, well, the center of the sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Going for a pick, but then overextending and getting out of position. Yeah, very unfortunate.
Now we see some hovering around Baron, but I'm expecting just some light vision wars here.
Yeah, it would be weird for Zephyr just to start it off outright. They do have a tank that can sort of sustain through it with Olaf, but Olaf is currently going for the top wave and on the split push.
See some light skirmish on top side. So nice hard steel proc on the Cho'Gath.
Tower falls.
Tower falls on the mid lane. Oh, flash ult from the Annie, stun on the Yasuo. Now the mega Yasuo ult via the Wukong ult. Another Wukong knockup. Now another Cho'Gath knockup, but the Olaf can't get knocked up. Vex is actually looking for a dive, but actually finds it there as well. Fear into the stun of Sejuani. They find it, but Sejuani dies actually first. Now Annie gets the kill. Ezreal is tanking the tower and gets very, very low. And only 2 kills go to Zephyr, and 1 kill goes to Weakside.
Oh, that looked so good. It was such a nice wombo combo, but they didn't have the damage to actually burn through the health bars. And great turn by Zephyr to pick up 2 kills. Indeed, some sloppiness with Ezreal tanking. I think 1 too many tower shots that he wouldn't have liked, but he survived, so it's all good. The fact that this fight wasn't actually advantageous for Weakside is very worrying. Like if they need an even better setup than this to win the fight, it's rough. It's looking rough. I think they have about 2 minutes until the next fight when it's time for Ocean Soul, and then they do have to fight. So we'll see if they can manage to find a better opportunity then.
Indeed. So we saw the massive wombo from the side of Weakside. So now maybe Zephyr is looking to not fight 5v5 again, just put the Olaf on the side lane, put everyone else on another lane, and hope for the Olaf to just push it out, requiring a 2-man response, and then just pushing a lead elsewhere.
Yes, exactly. You can see it's very dangerous if they group up tightly. Luckily, Ezreal is like very independent and very slippery, so he can stay away from the rest of the champions and still not be at too much risk. But it's indeed, I think it's called like cloud formation in strategy terms, where you do stay in the same area, but you spread out enough that you can't get AoE down.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Together but not clustered.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Weakside, they're just how do you say it? They're a stack. They're just an orb of 5 people.
Exactly, and that's what they want to be, right? Because they have this nice wombo combo of the Cho'Gath, the Sona, the Wukong, the Yasuo, and the baby Cage of Vhagar.
Yeah, exactly. And the only AoE you really have to worry about is any Flash R stun, or maybe the Seju ult. But Olaf can only hit 1 target at a time. So if he's in the middle of 5 people while he's hitting 1 target, then it's much easier to kill him and to make sure everyone or most people stay alive. I would say everyone, but that's a bit optimistic when you have a 3-item complete now, 5-1 Olaf, highest level in the game, level 15.
Exactly. Olaf has a Hydra, a Death Stance, and a Jug Show completed against a Heartsteel Thornmail on the Cho'Gath. I mean, there is a massive gold lead on Zephyr's side, but I think most of that is in the Olaf. So they really have to play around him, or actually put him on another lane and then play around that.
Yeah, for now they do have to fight, but actually Zephyr is going to trade the dragon for the Baron, perhaps.
Yeah. Zephyr just says, "Oh, you want the dragon? That's fine. We will just take the Baron. We have 3 dragons anyway. You can have one."
I'm not sure if that's worth it. I think Olaf might get level 16 off of this, and that's very dangerous for this side of Weakside.
Yes, he does. Now he has a level 3 ultimate on his hands. Now,
First in the game, 2 levels above everyone else in this game. He is very fed.
Yeah, this Olaf is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And actually, instead of resetting, they're going to trade inner towers. Although I don't think this is a trade Weakside wants to win. With Baron minions, Team Zephyr pushes way quicker than Weakside. Yeah, see, they're recalling. Okay, everyone's resetting. Yeah. Well, they didn't want to overextend for the inhibitor. They want to base and spend the gold they got after killing Baron.
At least Weakside picked up a Drake, but that was replied to with a Baron on the side of Zephyr.
True, that's
now
the one,
a level 16 Olaf, so this was
the one
kind of
point of light. Yeah, yeah.
A losing trade, but not as horrible as it could have been.
No, for sure, for sure. It could have been way worse. I was about to say the only point of light that Weakside has in this game is that Olaf is not level 16 yet for this Drake fight, but then they didn't even end up taking the Drake fight, which is actually indeed probably a good thing, but now they have to hold out against the Baron, and they do not have a lot of wave clear. Veigar will have to do will have to work double time to clear these minions with his dark matter, and
we see some massive vision control from Zephyr in this bot side jungle as Olaf takes down the inner tower on bot side, and they're looking to maybe get a catch. Actually, oh, the Sona flash into the Wukong R. Now, Annie drops her ult as well. There's so much happening, actually. Sejuani misses her ult. Veigar picks up the kill on Annie. Now, Ezreal picks up the kill on Wukong. Ezreal also picks up the kill on Yasuo. As Zephyr just roll over Weakside. Now, Sona goes down to the Olaf. And that's 3 for 1.
yeah, they had a catch on the Annie, but she managed to flash out. Good, indeed. Semi-wombo combo with the Sona R into the Wukong R. Yasuo actually could not get his own R off, so he couldn't dive into the backline to do the damage.
Yeah, I was missing the Yasuo. I was already expecting it to happen, but he wasn't there.
I'm not sure if he was in range actually for it. They might have gone too quickly there, but I'm not sure.
Oh, Zephyr is this. The inhibitor now. Ezreal dashes forward. Actually, now dashes backward as well, and picks up the Cho'Gath. Now, Cho'Gath's death timer is not synced with the rest, so this is still a 4v4 as Annie had to reset. So
I think their HP bars are too low and they want to reset. Not having Ocean Soul here hurts for their sustain, so they cannot really regen the damage back up. And the ultimates are coming back off cooldown for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So Weakside is now missing 2 inhibs, so they have to really push out this bot and mid wave for them to be able to do anything on the map. So like they will catch bot and mid, they will probably get pushed on the top lane by the rest of Zephyr, and then this Drake is in 2 minutes. So what do you expect to see in this next Drake fight?
So we've seen now 2 or 3 times where Weakside looked like they have had a good angle and were able to set up a wombo combo, but then didn't end up having the damage to kill the targets. So either they'll have to catch someone out and use that wombo combo on fewer people, so only 2 or 3, where they can actually make sure that they can really chunk them out before the Drake or even kill them. But they'll have to enter their own jungle for that, and that's not something they're allowed to do here, as Zephyr is moving into the blue team red side jungle and clearing out the vision.
Exactly. Is Weakside's bot side jungle still Weakside's bot side jungle, or is it now Zephyr's extra bot side jungle?
Looks like they added a 3rd jungle corner. Actually, looks like the entire jungle is theirs, because also in the top side there's a lot of vision. I think I only count a single blue ward on the map, which is yeah, that's not a good sign. Oh, there's number 2.
Oh, but Annie stuns, backs ult, and just obliterates the Sona.
Dude, I swear, supports will literally give their life for a control ward. Oh, that's a very unfortunate catch, yeah. Like I said, Sona in the jungle alone. Veigar actually has a Banshee shield, so he's a bit safer, but Sona is so squishy, and indeed, one overstep, one Annie stun, and she's instantly gone. It's very hard for her to play and push down vision.
This is exactly what we mentioned in the gem stack, right? You have this immobile Sona in the late game, where on the enemy you have a Sejuani and an Annie. If you get stunned once, you're absolutely, well, in the wrong position.
Yeah, screwed.
Yes, to put it lightly.
Yeah, exactly.
Poking each other a bit. Oh, actually, someone is in the baby cage. That was a Sejuani, but she gets out with not even a scratch.
So the solution here is to place down vision with multiple members, because you have Wukong and Yasuo who can both face check bushes fairly reliably. I think especially Wukong with his W and Cho'Gath with his health can survive face checking.
Oh, Yasuo flash! Oh, the double jump from the Ezreal just saves him. Now Sejuani goes down to the Veigar ult, and Ezreal got caught with a flash knock-up ult from the Yasuo, but I mean, E flash? That's just Ezreal for you. Oh, he has Arcane Shift, but he gets knocked up by the Wukong, and another kill goes to the Wukong. That's a 1k gold kill as Ezreal was 4-0. This is the first kill or death from Ezreal in this game.
Very nice pickup. I can't believe that Ezreal actually managed to survive that Yasuo, by the way, very clean combo. The flash Q knockup into the R. but not enough follow-up, but not enough damage to actually manage to kill the Ezreal outright. But they did have a nice catch onto the Sejuani, and they will get a Baron to it.
So Weakside is going Baron, but Olaf and Vex are in the base. So can any cancel any recalls here? So
is this the classic Baron for base trade that we've seen so often in pro play? It doesn't look like it.
Oh. So while there was a fight on top lane, Olaf just took the Soul Drake. Oh, Annie, what are you doing? You have to flash out, but now Yasuo is in a pickle. Actually, there's an Olaf with a Ghost. There's a Vex with a Fear, and there is a Sejuani. Now Yasuo just goes down right after they took Drake.
So the idea was nice because Yasuo zoning the Annie means that the rest of his team could finish the recalls and defend the base, but then he was getting a bit too greedy, looking for the kill onto the Annie, and a great flash by Annie over the wall made sure that she was safe, and then the team could collapse as Yasuo was way out of position.
We see Weakside regaining some control over their own jungle.
Yeah, for sure. This was a good Baron to pick up. You can see now that the level differences are actually a lot smaller. Wukong's even ahead of the Sejuani here a level, but for the rest it's... and Sona as well, but for the rest it's mostly even. Partially also because Olaf has already hit level 18, so he can't get any more levels. Otherwise he would have had more levels. So yeah, it's actually looking up for Zephyr. I think they'll just hold out until the Elder spawns, and then they'll have to fight it. The main disadvantage of this is that Zephyr did indeed get the Ocean Soul, which is going to help them a lot.
Exactly, especially when you have this Olaf running at you as he just continues healing with the Death Stance, and then the reduced damage from the Death Stance and the Jug Show with this Dragon Soul. It's just...
Yeah, it's a lot of damage reduction.
He's gonna be incredibly tanky.
Exactly. But the nice part is that Weakside does have a lot of burst damage, right? Like they one more combo you and then they kill you outright, and that's what they want to do with the Olaf anyway. So if you get bursted down instantly, then Ocean Soul doesn't matter. But it's just more punishing if you don't get the one shot.
They really do have to chunk down this Olaf before a fight, actually.
Yeah, but look at the lifesteal. You can't really put any damage, keep any damage sticking on him.
Oh, knock up, but nothing more. Oh, actually, ult from Annie stuns the Yasuo. Now Annie is in a baby cage, gets knocked up by the Yasuo, gets picked up by the Veigar with the ult. Now Wukong is on the Ezreal, knocks him up twice with the flash. Yasuo is looking for the kill here on the Ezreal. Now Sejuani is running for her life and has no backup from the Olaf yet. Actually turns around because Olaf is looping around as well, and Vex is still on the other side of the team. But this is not a fight you want to take, Zephyr. You are 3v5.
But they did burn a lot of ultimates. They only have the Cho'Gath and the Sona ults up. I wonder if Zephyr realizes this. Oh, great fear. Oh.
Vex is in the pickle. Actually, Wukong is in the pickle here as he dashes over the wall. Now Sejuani is in the baby cage and gets chunked down, but has to flash out. Now he's looking back for her team as Yasuo is diving them. Yasuo gets the knockup, and Sejuani goes down in this stage of the game. Now flash ult from the Sona on the Vex. Flash is out of the baby cage. Great fear from the Vex, but gets picked up by the Yasuo nonetheless.
Are you sure it's Zephyr this was the Ocean Soul? It looks like with the Sona healing that it's Weakside actually. They're healing so much. She's doing so much work in these team fights.
You also have Ocean Soul, we have Sona. Now Cho'Gath is just taking this tower like a madman.
478 stacks of his Heartsteel. That hurts.
Oh.
That's phew.
Weakside really did Zephyr dirty in this fight. I mean, Zephyr was looking to kind of close out the game, and then Weakside just said no, as Wukong is actually on the backside of Zephyr. Oh my god, there's so much happening. Olaf picked up the Yasuo. Now Olaf is running for his... Actually, doesn't pick up another kill as Veigar stuns him and pops him with the E. Or Q, I mean.
Ah, and finally they get the kill onto the Olaf. That took so long.
Oh, Ezreal is looking... Oh, flash from the Veigar and a missing ult from the Sona. Now, Ezreal picks up the kill from the of the Veigar. Vex is here on the backline, gets a beautiful fear off. Now picks up the Wukong, hits the ult, dashes for the Sona, gets knocked up by the Cho'Gath as they are just chunking down this Cho'Gath as he has no backup for him. If they pick up the Cho'Gath, it's going to be a 5 for the Sona, which is just going to be in the game. So they pick up the Shogoth, and they're looking to finish the game here.
Yes, it was a beautiful team fight. It looked very good for Team Weakside, but it was so split, and Olaf still managed to do a lot of work in this team fight, and then Ezreal just cleaning up. Yeah, very close game actually. Weakside almost managed to bring it back, but it looks like this will be the end of the game.
Exactly. That was a really nice fight from Weakside. Actually, they still tried to defend the base, but actually Zephyr just finished it directly.
Yeah, they're just playing for KDA, and indeed this is the game. Great play by both teams. GG.
Indeed. It looked very promising for Zephyr from the start. However, there were quite some fights on the side of Weakside that made me doubt what the outcome would be.
I think that's indeed the superior scaling coming in by Team Weakside. Because as you can see, there were indeed a lot of points of flight for Weakside, where it did look like they could get back into the game, but in the end it was not enough. Very clean team fighting by Zephyr, because indeed in the mid to late game it's mostly team fight execution, and it doesn't really matter if you're 1 or 2k gold ahead or not. It's very close, and it's mostly about the actual execution. And indeed, for Weakside had a few very good team fights. Even managed to get to pick up a Baron after that, but they couldn't hold out until the Elder. And that last team fight in mid lane was a bit random, actually. But it looks, yeah, it was just very close. It was very close, and indeed, in the end, Zephyr managed to take it.
Exactly. Great team fighting on both sides. A lot of dragon control on the side of Zephyr, as we will be heading in for a few minute break, and we will be right back.
Yes.
And we are back. What a game that was. The top lane got, well, kind of ran over by the Olaf, but then we had some nice comeback fights from Weakside going on there.
Yeah, especially the mid to late game. Weakside managed to find a lot of good fights and almost managed to come back, but indeed, top gap too big. This Olaf was kind of out of control, and yeah, some very nice team fighting by Zephyr.
So what do we expect to see in game 2? From like looking at game 1, going into game 2, what are they going to change?
Ben Olaf.
Ben Olaf. Actually, the pick ban phase has already begun, and we will switch right over to that. There we go. So we see, what do we see? We see a Varus, Xayah, and Anyben. So the Anyben is new, and they banned Yasuo on the side of Zephyr Ziz.
Yeah. So do you actually know who had side selection this game? I think it was Zephyr Ziz, right?
I'm not sure who had side selection first or second game.
I think your first game it was Weakside who chose blue side, and now in this game it's Zephyr Ziz choosing red side, which is
oh indeed,
definitely they're just, well, they're not going for the run back, but they do agree that like they were doing fine on red side, so they'll just stay on that.
Something is happening.
Yeah, we can see a Google Docs on the screen.
All right. Thank you, Google Chrome, for letting me use my computer.
Okay, so yeah, Chrome diff. So some changes from this draft. Team Weakside now bans the Annie, which they think was the main problem. Which indeed, Annie had a lot of good setup for her team. Zephyr Ziz actually managed. They actually banned the Veigar and the Yasuo, and now the picks are all different, which is very nice to see. Weakside going for the B1 Ashe. Supposedly a flex between AD carry and support, but the support variant was nerfed pretty hard. And now with looking in the Karma on B2 afterwards, means that it's probably Karma Ashe bot lane, very strong poke. Meanwhile, on Zephyr's side, they match that with a Jinx Rakan in the bot lane, and they have a Cho'Gath, presumably top lane again, as it was played top in the last game as well. And Weakside is has locked in the Jarvan along with that, so a lot of big potential we can already see on the team of on Team Blue. And where Weakside picked a jungler, Zephyr picked a top laner. So likely Zephyr will look to ban out top laners, and Weakside will look to ban out junglers. Actually, wait, Weakside is respecting. Yeah, they're respecting the flex of the Cho'Gath. They know that Cho'Gath can be played mid as well, or perhaps even jungle. So they ban the Olaf just in case as well.
So especially this Jinx is grabbing my attention. Since Zephyr is again, every game they've won through their AD carry getting extremely fed. And Jinx being a hyper carry, they're looking to really, really get this Jinx ahead.
Yeah, you can see the makings of a great front-to-back team fighting team with Cho'Gath at frontline and Rakan some engage or peel for the Jinx. But they do have a Jarvan on Team Blue, which is very, very, very good lockdown if the Jinx ever doesn't have flash, or if he does find an angle to burn the Jinx's flash, because she is very immobile and has no escape, no blinks or dashes to get out of the Jarvan R. So I think Weakside would like to follow this up with a bunch more AoE that could easily be thrown into the Jarvan R to make sure they can really burst down this Jinx.
Vi has been picked on the side of Zephyr, so that's even more dive when you might have expected some more peel for the Jinx.
I think this Vi is mainly there for early game presence to make sure she can contest the Jarvan in 1v1 and make sure her lanes can do what they like. So I expect to see a strong mid laner as well on R5. But for now, they do obviously give the counter pick to mid lane because the jungler was already shown on Team Blue. So of course you pick the jungler on R4 and then mid laner on R5. Meanwhile, actually, Weakside see, oh, you have a Rakan and a Vi. That's enough dashes for a Poppy to come through.
Exactly.
So they have a Poppy likely in the top lane, I think.
Vi and Rakan trying to dash in, Poppy just popping that barrier, and even if they get through, they will just get popped away by her ult. Actually, does Vi ult get stopped by Poppy ult? What
No,
happens
Vi
if
is
an
unstoppable in her ult.
but
So
what
Poppy ult.
happens if an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object?
This is not an unstoppable force. Well, the unstoppable force here is Vi, actually.
Exactly. She is literally unstoppable in her ult, and Vi.
Yeah, so it goes through. It goes through.
It goes through.
Yeah, it just goes through. Meanwhile, as for the mid lane pick, they Weakside actually went for the Akali, which is kind of surprising. I would think they would go for like a Syndra here, or something with a bit more AoE and something with a bit more long range damage to follow up on the Jarvan. But I guess it's also follow up. There's just a bunch of CC heavy champions on the side of Zephyr in both the Cho'Gath and Rakan. So I guess they think they can outplay the CC and the disrupt from Team Red and get onto the Jinx anyway, because this is really a team competition built around the Jinx. With R5 being the Vladimir, that's extra support in good AoE damage, but the main focus here is definitely the Jinx and making sure that she can hit, and they do definitely want to play front to back here.
Exactly. We can also see in the chat, Jochem really likes the Weakside comp. Poppy is kind of weird, but could work indeed. So we see on Weakside that they really look to catch with the fight or with the Ashe ult. Then you have the Jarvan, dash or jump, what you call it, or
Flag and drag.
flag and drag, and the ult. And then Poppy, if they are in the numbers at disadvantage, you just bop them away.
Exactly. But there's a lot of onus here on the Akali to get ahead and to do a lot of to do a lot of the damage, because if there's like this Cho'Gath, there's this famous clip of like Ashe hitting 20,000 auto attacks on either like a Cho'Gath with infinite health or an Amumu with infinite armor, and it's like, yeah, she's not getting through there. Even with Kraken Slayer, it will be hard for her to do the damage, to do the DPS to get through the Cho'Gath. So they do really want to fight back to front, as I like to call it, where you jump into the back line and only then afterwards kill the front line instead of the normal front to back.
But do they have to dive to pull it off? I mean, with the Jarvan, with the Akali, sure. But can Poppy, can Ashe really follow that up?
True. That's the other point. But Ashe is not the same hyper carry as Jinx is, so peeling for the Ashe does not seem like the win con of Team Weakside. It does really seem like it's the Akali, or maybe some I need a catch with the Jarvan.
I think indeed, actually, this Akali is going to play a vital role in the late game. This Akali will be looking to get this Jinx down. So Akali, I mean, we've seen in previous game, Inferno Trigger really has the mechanics to pull it off, right? The beautiful EQ or E flash Q on the Yasuo into the ult on the Ezreal, and then having him play Akali.
True. I do think his mechanical outplays can do a lot of work in this game. So it'll definitely be on Zephyr to make sure he can't find his target and to disrupt him using the Rakan CC, because that's a good, very good counter, right, for Rakan. It's very easy for Rakan to just press R and W on top of Akali's Shroud whenever she tries to go invulnerable, and then she's CC'd, and then Vi or Jinx can follow up, or even Cho'Gath with more CC, and then she's locked down, and that's how you deal with Akali. So if he cannot play then the Jinx is very vulnerable, because there's not really like a big shield or heal. There's no enchanter. There's just Rakan peeling with CC, but yeah. So it's going to be the team fights playing out.
What is going to be the game plan of Weakside here? How are they gonna? What is their win condition?
So it'll definitely be this Akali here. I do think the early game is a lot stronger on Weakside. They have a lot more opportunities. Vladimir Cho'Gath not really famous for their good early game. Jinx actually also isn't really. So in the early game, they'll definitely be able to take as much as they can get. But I think in the 5v5s, Zephyr's are very favored. So I would like to see this Jarvan play a lot around mid lane and bot lane. I think top lane is a bit of a, wet noodle fight with tank versus tank. I don't think anyone has kill pressure there.
Exactly. So this game is going to be all about who's going to get the bot lane ahead, and will Akali get fed enough to really do anything in this team fight to basically take down the AD carry of Zephyr.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's mostly for team fights. Of course, Weakside does have a lot of pick potential, as we already said. So good vision control from Zephyr is also very important. And luckily, they do have Rakan, who is very hard to lock down when he tries to put down vision with 2 or 3 dashes in his kit. Now, if Poppy is in the bush that he tries to ward and she actually cancels him, that could be another pick opportunity
Exactly.
for Team Weakside.
I mean, Rakan has, what is it, 3 dashes? So I mean, this Poppy pick into the Rakan is really really juicy for Weakside. Then
exactly
the game plan for Zephyr, it really seems like they indeed picked this Vi for the early game presence to really contest these early drakes and get the Jinx ahead. But then on Weakside, you have the Ashe and the Karma that will just poke the lane and really get this prio, which makes them vulnerable for the early Vi ganks.
True. But Ashe does have her hawkshot to be able to track the Vi and make sure that they're never in any danger of a gank. As you can see, the Vi coming more easily with hawkshot. It's way more vision, and Vi might have to do some very crazy maneuvers with the jungle pathing to make sure she can end up unexpectedly on a successful bot side gank. Because they do have good setup, right, with the Rakan.
Indeed, they do have a really good setup on the bot lane. We might even see the Vi just taking 1 or 2, like a 3 camp clear into a bot gank with going over the dragon pit to stay out of vision. But then you have to be lucky with this hawkshot indeed not spotting you.
Mm-hmm. And even if hawkshot doesn't spot her, that can also give information, right?
Indeed.
If you know that she's supposed to be on her wolves right now, but she's not, then you're like, ooh, wait. Hold up. Something's off. Spider sense tingling.
Something fishy is afoot. I can feel it.
I thought there was no fizz in this game.
There is no.
Okay.
So what do we expect on the mid lane? So how does Vladimir fare against Akali?
It's an interesting matchup. I think Vladimir is mostly a neutralizer here. I think it's mostly Akali looking for lethals and Vladimir trying his best to prevent that. And I do think he's very well situated to do that. I think with his sustain on his Q and extra safety from his pool, if he ever does need a get out of jail free card, then he has that. And I think it will be hard for the Akali to find lethal on the Vladimir, but
it's a very good
he'll definitely be playing on the back foot.
Exactly. So you have Zephyr that really want to get this Jinx ahead and do not want to get shut down somewhere in the mid and late game. And what can shut down Jinx, if you're not careful, it's the Akali. So what do? You make sure Akali cannot get fed. So what do you pick? A last pick Vladimir.
Yeah. Something similar that would have worked here in this case would have been Lissandra, which is a classic lane neutralizer for many assassins. Malzahar would actually also be pretty decent in this game. The only problem with Malzahar would be the poke from Ashe and Karma. I have to do this legally because I'm a Malzahar one trick, so I have to shout out my boy. But yeah, indeed, Vladimir is very well. Also, his teamfight AoE is actually not to be underestimated. His extra damage from his R and being able to one-shot carry late game is very dangerous.
As a Malzahar one trick, you have to analyze every draft you come across just to check what would Malzahar do in this game. How would Malzahar fare in this game?
I mean, not many cases where he's actually good, you know. So yeah, I always have to check.
Especially not against an Ashe Karma that can just pop your spell shield. We have some predictions here in the chat. Jochem says Weakside can get early to dragons for sure.
Yes, I agree. It's Ashe Karma has will surely have the prio in bot lane whenever they want to. So I do agree that indeed dragon stacking would be a good way for Weakside to snowball the early game, and if they're lucky, they roll something like a either Infernal or Mountain Drake. I think Infernal or Hextech would actually be the 2 best, and then afterwards Mountain. just for extra damage on the poke and on the one shot from Akali. Yeah.
True.
I think those would be the dragons they hope for to roll as Soul Drake.
In counterpoint, we do have the great setup from Rakan Vi on this bot side. So if they manage to get a gank off early, like a proper gank right before a dragon fight, they really turn things into favor for Sapphire Griffin or Sapphire Ziz. My apologies. That name is written in my brain.
We have been traumatized. PTSD.
We faced the same team 4 times, so this name has made its way into my memory and is not to be forgotten.
Yeah, we can also call them ZZZ. Zephyr Ziz.
When is the game starting? Very good question. The game is starting in any second now. I'm in a loading screen, but as you know, we have a little bit of a Rito moment where the loading screen is 0% for already 25 seconds. So any second, and you will see the clean transition into the game. As you said, I mean, top lane is just going to be a wet noodle fight. We have the Poppy, we have the Cho'Gath. They're just going to tickle each other a bit and then call it a day.
Yeah. I wonder actually, you could also lane swap these two champions, Cho'Gath and Vladimir. Because I think Cho'Gath also does very well into the Akali. I don't think Akali can ever really kill him. Especially once he gets... well, if you're going AP, once he gets Lost Chapter, and if you're going tank, once he gets like Bami's in there plus boots, then I think he's too tanky to really ever die. But I do think they'll just keep Vladimir on mid. It does look like he has Ghost, so it's easy to roam down to bot lane and help out the team. So yeah, that is actually a good point. Vladimir with Ghost here is a very good idea with Karma being on the other side, providing the extra move speed. And Vladimir does really want to stick onto his targets.
So we had another Rito moment where the spectator just crashed. So it's taking a little moment to get into the game.
The classic. 2 times in a row.
Naturally.
This is the result of the old spaghetti goat they have to keep working with.
It's not even Clash weekend. Oh. I'm just gonna take the gamble that this time it will work. So we'll just transition into the loading screen right now so that we can inspect the... Oh, we don't even have to inspect the summoner spells in loading screen because the game has started. If our little trick works again. There we go. Finally, the game has started. Game 2 between Thorance's Weakside and Zephyr Ziz.
Yep, Zephyr Ziz are 1-up in the series. Let's hope that Weakside can bounce back. They do have the agency here, the opportunities. They have openings to make plays happen and to be creative early game. So let's see and hope that they get off with a strong start. And let's hope it'll be a banger, like game 1. Game 1 was a banger. Let's have a repeat.
So we see an invade happening here, but they're being spotted. No knockup for the Cho'Gath.
2 games in a row, I think Zephyr Ziz are very aware of the possibility of an invade now. Also, can you click the visibility thing on the bottom left?
Apologies.
Yes, thank you. My autistic brain getting triggered.
So we see the ghost on the Vladimir, the teleport on the Cho'Gath, the cleanse on Jinx, which is quite important against his Ashe.
Yes, for sure. It's very easy to say, oh, just sidestep the arrow, but it's plenty of times where you won't be ready for it, and then having the extra cleanse backup is very nice.
And then we have Ignite on both supports. So
yeah, very interesting.
There's some spam ping going on that someone has vision.
Can you actually drag the icons from Team Zephyr Ziz to the right spots?
No, I tried.
On the scoreboard.
Oh, there, yes, probably. Yes, it works. Thank you.
And I know it works. Visibility icon?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Let's get into this game. Nice, I'm ready.
Into
I'm
the
ready.
game indeed.
So both junglers starting on top side. I believe they were both leashless. And it does look like they've actually lane swapped. It's the Cho'Gath actually going mid lane against the Akali and the Vladimir on top. As I discussed. I do not think this matters a whole lot. I think both have a pretty decent matchup in both lanes. Oh, Cho'Gath actually hitting two good ruptures.
Oh my god, Akali getting quite some chunky HP. Oh, Poppy as well, getting 200 HP from this early trade as Vladimir hits level 2 first.
Yeah, making sure Poppy can't get her passive stack there is... both solo laners of Team Zephyr is really trading well. So actually, Vi starting top side, but both of her top lane and mid lane, the whole top side has prio. So instead, I think she's not looking to take the crab. She's probably going full clear into a bot gank or perhaps cover for a bot dive.
Why are you fighting this? It's a massive knock up from the Cho'Gath into another auto attack, a flash into the first blood for the Cho'Gath.
Beautifully played, actually. Akali going a bit too greedy there, having to flash away, but Cho'Gath can flash right after and finish it with the auto-attack auto-attack reset.
Exactly. First blood for Team Zephyr.
Starting off with the Doran's Ring, actually, perhaps Akali did not expect the extra damage from the Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath does indeed have some very nice AP ratios. And actually, I do believe that this player is a Cho'Gath main, so they know their limits very well, clearly.
Having a Cho'Gath main on your team really helps when you're picking Cho'Gath on mid.
Exactly. Kind of a weird pick, but it seems like Zephyr is well prepared to play with it. And actually, we saw the junglers meet shortly on the bottom crab, but Jarvan knows he is stronger, so he can just take that. Actually, he did skip on his Krugs, and he's not going back for them. He's actually looking for a bot gank now.
Jarvan is going for the bot lane. Flash?
Flag and drag.
I cannot do the flag and drag. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, not getting any summoners though. He's just chunking them out. They already walked back far enough to not be in danger. They knew he was there if I spotted him before.
Akali's getting knocked up like a ping pong ball.
But yeah, Jarvan opting not to do his Krugs, but instead look indeed for the bottom gank. It did not work out.
Poppy getting real low on her own tower now. Vi is looking for this top lane gank, but she's getting spotted by a ward, so they are on a timer here.
And they cancel a recall, actually.
Recall is cancelled. Vi with the Vault Breaker flash into a kill for Vi. Zephyr is now 2-0.
And this huge wave that Poppy is missing, that must hurt. Oh.
Vi is still in the jungle as she was on a ward. Vault breaks over the wall and gives the Gromp back to its rightful owner.
Yeah, still not winning this one.
Ashe getting knocked up, rooted by the Jinx. Now heal through the ignite gets... Oh, Jinx is getting real low now. Karma is looking to pick up the skill, but actually the heal shield from the Rakan keeps her alive. The knock-up from the Rakan. Jinx still falls to the Karma. Karma tries to run out with the shield, but Rakan is looking to get this last auto attack. Actually needs 2 flashes for it, just to be sure. Now Akali's getting another knock-up silence. Now this Cho'Gath is just bullying this Akali. Cho'Gath has level 6, so he can chomp this Akali to death for an easy kill.
Jarvan knows it. Jungle is the weak roll.
Oh, he gets it as well. He just walks up and has some nice dinner.
Oh my god, action all over the map. So indeed, very well played by the Cho'Gath. Actually, Jarvan did indeed know, like, I can't go in here, even if it's 2v1, Akali is too low and is already in feast range, and level 4 to level 6, Jarvan doesn't win the 1v1 there.
Oh, Jarvan, you're in dangerous... Oh my god, that was just... He's just gone. 5 Volt breaks into the Cho'Gath knockup, and then Jarvan just falls. That's 1-6 for Sapphire Griffin.
Nice baits by the Cho'Gath there, letting Jarvan think they can kill him, but then Vi is there from the bush. And actually 3-0 for the Cho'Gath. They are going full AP actually, which I I understand that that's how they mostly
Oh,
play
Rakan Vi. Vi hits the Ashe with the Vault Break. Now, remember, Ashe does not have flash, nor heal available. Now, can they finish her off? Vi is looking for this Vault Break, and Rakan picks up the kill as Jinx is finishing off the Karma with the rockets.
Nice double kill, very close. I was about to say Ashe doesn't have any summers, but she does have the slow, so she might have gotten away, but
Now,
it's...
Akali is here for some action as well. Akali just turned level 6, so she still has ult up and Ignite ready for some action, but they just get away as Cho'Gath now has some free mid lane platings.
Yes, very unfortunate roam here by the Akali. Again, like last game, if you're behind, then you look for other lanes, plays on other lanes, and indeed with level 6 available and Ignite up, she definitely could have made something happen there, but the disengage with both Rakan and Vi CC, as well as the Jinx Flame Jumpers, is enough to allow them to escape. Yeah, action over all over the map, and a beautiful gank by the Vi on the bot lane to get the double kill.
Indeed. So we saw indeed a double kill for Zephyr on bot lane, but they did not go for the Drake. So they cashed in now and get back on the map to keep the tempo. And now, as we see a dive on the Vladimir, but actually Poppy pushes him back into the tower and looks him up underneath the tower. He couldn't move at all, and Poppy just gets the solo bolo. Incredible play by the Poppy here. Now Jinx is in the situation, and Ashe picks up the kill. Cho'Gath flashes forward for the jump as well to get another piece of that Akali. What is happening all over the map? There's fights. Solo bolo on the top lane, solo bolo on the mid lane, and then a gank on the bot lane where the Ashe picks up the Jinx.
Exactly, so let's start with his top lane. It was a very nice combo by the Poppy to actually get that kill. It's indeed the stun into the Q, into the short range R to get the extra knockup with the tower shots. Vladimir going a bit too deep, trying to dive that the Poppy. Unfortunately for Poppy, the wave does not crash, so it will be bouncing back into her. And Vladimir will be getting this farm instead of losing it to the tower, so that's unfortunate. He is already ahead, and I think he will continue to grow his lead, even though he just got killed. Items are still even, so that's all good. And then mid lane, yeah, I think Akali got hit by another Rupture or something, because she had to flash away off screen, and then the Cho'Gath could just flash feast her afterwards. And he's now 4-0, already has his Everfrost complete, and 6 stacks on his Darksteel. He is ready to take over this game.
Exactly. Everfrost on Cho'Gath. So once you get hit by any type of CC, you're in for a treat. Actually, Cho'Gath is in for a treat because he's coming for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And now Weakside is indeed taking this early Drake, as predicted by Jochen in the chat.
Yeah, they have the prio on bot lane, Jinx, Rakan on the tower, they can't really help. They did get a shutdown onto Jinx for the Ashe, which is pretty good. They're still behind in items, but this will definitely help them get back into the game. And actually, Ashe has a CS advantage, probably from that kill, as well as some other unfortunate wave states or something. Actually, not sure how she has this wave lead, but yeah.
So we saw the entire game Poppy getting kind of bullied in her own lane, and now she's getting more and more comfortable to walk up. But is this a good fight? Actually, it's an equal trade. They are both getting quite low now.
Yeah, but neither junglers there, so it will stay a 1v1, and I think Vladimir can just the same.
Vi is charging the Vault Breaker into the Jarvan ult. Now Ashe stuns the Vi. Jarvan jumps onto the backline. Vi ults the Ashe, but nothing comes out of it. Now Jinx misses the rocket on the Ashe, and Ashe and Jarvan both get out with 150 HP.
Ah, the super mega death rocket just barely missing the Ashe.
Actually, Jarvan is back in for some action, and Jinx they're all too low to really go for it here.
Yeah, Jinx's high range is so hard to deal with here. It's very hard for Team Weakside to engage onto them. But they did get the kill on Vi. Vi knew she was dead, so she tried to get 1-for-1 by ulting the Ashe, ulting back in.
Cho'Gath? Wow. Didn't even need to use his ult. He just Everfrost Q W's or E's is actually.
It is on the cooldown, so he might have used it right at the end or already before that.
He used it right after it on a minion.
Oh, lol. Okay.
If you can't eat the Akali, just eat the minion, right?
Exactly.
Oh, we're looking for another dive on the top lane. Is he going for it again? We have the Poppy ult up.
He lost Q3. He barely lost Q3 there.
Oh. And this time it actually works for the Vladimir on Zephyr.
Clean. Yeah,
Now,
actually,
top lane. Oh, Jarvan picks up the lucky blue as they both smited it.
Yeah, so an interesting choice here is Poppy opting for the refillable to try to match the sustain of the Vladimir instead of getting a Doran shield, which would also help a bit. But I think she, what it seems to be is that she's taking too many trades, and equal trades are actually favorable for Vladimir when he outsustains his opponent.
Oh, Vi Hullbreaker barely misses the Akali. Jarvan is here as well for the return, but Vi ult on the Akali gets... Oh, Ashe ult coming from downtown. Karma is here as well. Rakan double jump or double knockups. Now they're very low. Cho'Gath hits the knockup on the Akali. Akali going down for a 5th time this game. Now, picks up the Jarvan as well with a max range Q on the Cho'Gath, and Cho'Gath goes down as well for the first time in this game. He's now 7-on-1.
Exactly, and he still has a shutdown because of how the system works. Actually, Karma got the shutdown, which isn't terrible. It's not the person you wanted on most. That would be the Akali, of course, but it does accelerate the Karma and gets her to a mythic soon, which will likely be the
Ashe, you're in trouble as Rakan is behind her, knocks her up, and Jinx just I mean, auto-attacks her down. What can you do?
Knocks her up. Trinamil will not be happy about that. But yeah, good gank by the Rakan. He actually did match the roam from Karma to mid lane and managed to make that fight favorable as well. So wherever Weakside tried to look on the map, it looks like Zephyr are always ready for it and able to counter.
Did you just make a lore joke?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I great.
Okay, so first tower here is almost falling for Cho'Gath. Actually, with the roams that Akali has made, he is just hitting this tower, and he is perma pushing because he has prio. Like, if you see a 7-1 freaking Godzilla type monster looking at like 5 feet tall, standing before you're not going to approach that. So of course it's easy pickings for Cho'Gath to push in the wave constantly, and Akali cannot really approach. Because as you can see, the Everfrost gives such good setup for Cho'Gath to hit his Rapture and Silence, and that just deals so much damage at the moment.
This very oppressive Cho'Gath really gives Zephyr the freedom to play around this bot side, so they just put, as they pick up a kill on top lane, what I was trying to make a point. So Vi put the Herald on bot side in preparation of this dragon, and they can just freely now focus on this bot side that they really like to do as Zephyr, because this Cho'Gath is just so ahead.
Oh, actually, Jinx interrupted her recall. I was about to say she's a bit late for her base before Drake, but she does have her item. But now she stays to catch the wave.
Oh my god. The Q from Cho'Gath actually takes 45% of Ashe's HP bar.
Yeah, he is 1, 2, and 3 levels ahead of Ashe, so that's indeed big. Actually, Jinx is still resetting, even though Drake is up, so I wonder if Zephyr did say, we're so far ahead, we have Feast, we can get this Drake for sure, we don't even have to fight for it. So it doesn't really matter that Jinx is late.
So
and maybe actually...
on Cho'Gath now out-damages any smite. So it
that's
has
insane.
1400 damage as smite. Oh my god, he just uses it to obliterate the Akali.
Yeah, 700 damage you can already see. That's rank 2R versus the Akali who's way far behind. Meanwhile, top lane is actually also getting demolished. Vladimir constantly diving this Poppy whenever he can and using his Qs off cooldown. Karma's now here to try to help, but let's see if it'll work.
So Karma actually hits the root on the Vladimir now, gets stunned into the wall and knocked up, but there's no follow-up damage here from the Poppy. Poppy flashes forward with the grasp, and Ashe Earl, but the flash from the Vladimir to dash it. Now Poppy dashing forward again, doesn't have enough damage to actually finish the Vladimir.
This healing on the Vladimir is insane.
Oh, Jinx rocket.
It barely missed the Karma. Ooh, barely missed the Karma. Yeah, he got the healing from the R just at the end of the combo. So maybe if they were a bit quicker on the damage there, they could have gotten it before. But very nice from the Vladimir to stay alive. So even with 2 people, they don't have the damage to kill him.
Looking to make a play on mid lane as bot lane is getting obliterated by the Cho'Gath. So we mentioned it in Jump Slack, right? So Weakside really wants this Akali ahead, but they're getting neutralized by the comp by Zephyr. And now we see a 0-6 Akali. An absolutely beast of a Cho'Gath. And now a Jinx that will get free resources from the entire team. How can Weakside come back from this?
That's a good question. Well, the only one in this game for Team Weakside who's really able to do anything is the bot lane, Ashe Karma. So I think they'll have to play around those and use their pick potential to get some kills onto some of the more fat members of Team Zephyr.
Or Vladimir, you're in a situation here. Jarvan just ults you, Poppy into the Jarvan. He's alive for very long, but gets picked up by the Jarvan nonetheless.
So last time they tried with 2 and it didn't work, so now they were like, yeah, let's come back with 3 and now we can definitely kill him, and indeed they did. It took a while though, that was so scary. Like Vladimir healing back 70% of his HP from the R healing of the 3 people.
Kali getting absolutely annihilated again by the Cho'Gath lead. Feast. How many kills does he already have on this Feast? Oh, actually, Ashe ult hits the Jinx for the disengage, but Jarvan is here coming from the side. Karma flashes forward to the Jinx. Jinx is rooted. Jarvan onto the Jinx. Vi comes over with the Vault Break and ult on the Jarvan. As Jarvan goes down to the Jinx. Now Jinx is excited and can kite back, but it's not fast enough. Now Poppy is on the Vi as Vi Vault breaks away. Now Poppy is between the Vi and the absolutely humongous Cho'Gath as Vi Vault breaks back into the Poppy and gets the kill.
Oh, the fight was actually looking really very good for Team Weakside. They actually got a 2 for 3, which is not too bad. And if they were a bit quicker and could disengage quicker before the Cho'Gath arrived, then it would have been even more favorable.
Indeed, given the circumstances of being 9k gold behind, it's not too bad.
Oh, Cho'Gath flashing forward for the trick kill.
Are you sure you want to do this? Akali and Ashe are both on the Cho'Gath, and they take down the beast.
And actually, they give the shutdown to Ashe. They realize, like, oh, Akali's not going to do anything this game, so we should give the resources to Ashe instead.
Ashe is really a kind of northern star for this team, as they are heading into the late game almost already.
Yeah, exactly. She has 4 kills now, 2 items finished, ahead of the Jinx, as one of the only members in this team who is ahead. You can also see that Karma actually picked up an Oblivion Orb to deal with his Vladimir more easily. His healing is really getting out of control, and she's there often when they try to kill him on the side lane. So yeah, it was a good team fight from Team Weakside on the mid lane. Still not really like equal, not 50-50, not even on results, but it was pretty good still. And unfortunately, they do not get anything out of it. But the good news is that Team Zephyr also did not get really anything out of it. So we'll see if they can contest this next dragon fight. They don't have to. It's not Soul Point or Soul. It's not even close. And it is Chemtech, which is one of the more it's not one of the more exciting Drakes here. It's Tenacity and Shield and Heal Power, and they do not really have much use of that.
Poppy getting some nice damage on this Vladimir knocks up, but there is not enough damage to finish him up, and she realizes that as well, as Zephyr just finished off the Herald and immediately rotated to the top lane. This Poppy is in an awkward situation as the Beast has arrived. And yep, another kill for the Beast.
There she goes. So Vladimir Q's healing for 500 health, and that's like I think actually Vladimir has more health and heals more than Poppy has mana to deal damage. So I don't think Poppy is ever killing him on her own.
Good decision here by Weakside to instantly move to this dragon, as they saw 3 members on top, of which one is the Cho'Gath, which is basically their entire well, don't want to say their entire team, but which is a very crucial part of their team.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, and they do get the Drake, and it's actually good for them because they have Karma with a lot of shielding and healing.
Oh, Zephyr is just looking to 20-minute Baron this. I mean,
they have Feast.
They saw Weakside Rico, and they have a Jinx with Dragon Slayer. They have the Feast on Cho'Gath. This is a free pickup from Zephyr.
But late on the Feast, but it doesn't matter, it's just gone. Wow, okay.
Very well executed.
Yeah, so Cho'Gath almost is level 16 already. It's he is highest level in the game. Only Vladimir comes close, 2 levels above everyone on Team Weakside. It is very scary. It's actual Godzilla from Jurassic Park directly, dinosaur.
Poppy is just looking for these trades whenever she can.
He is huge. So actually, interestingly,
Oh.
can they kill the Vladimir?
The Oblivion Orb from the Karma coming in huge as she tries to... Oh, Vladimir is just gone as Godzilla enters the fray. Now, no... Oh, Flash from the Poppy out. Now, Roots from the Karna to get the Cho'Gath away from her.
And they get out. So they burn the TP of Cho'Gath and the Ghost from Vladimir, but they use the Flash for it. I would say that's still kind of worth.
Zephyr is pushing here with a Herald and Baron at the same time, so they're really looking to get like at least 2 inhibitors here. Well, as Herald dies mid-charge, now Vice Vault breaking in to get the Jarvan to half HP. Ashes walking a bit far forward.
Baron combined with Herald, it's not something you see very often, but indeed, it would have like burned through these towers for sure, so it's a good pick up.
Got the CC and eats the Akali. Now Rakan is ulting forward and tries to get something here. He charms 2 members as Ashe goes down to the Jinx. Now Jinx also picks up the Jarvan and Poppy goes down as well. Now Karma goes down as well, and that's an ace for Zephyr Ziz, and they're looking for the game.
That's not a good Jarvan ult. You know the quote from Bane? I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me. Yeah, that's what Team Weakside was right there. Oh, beautiful gameplay by Zephyr Ziz. It seems they really managed to get ahead early and keep the lead and finish it quickly. 23-minute game, very, very quick.
I mean, all I can say is the beast had arrived.
Yep, this was a stomp.
First game it was the Olaf. Second game it was the Cho'Gath. This is kind of new for Zephyr's, as previous games that they won, every time they won through their AD carry, they fed the AD carry. I mean, this time Jinx, of course, was strong, but 2 of the kills that she picked up were from the last fight. So they really won through their top and mid this time.
Exactly. Even if her items were on par, I think it just felt like the pressure mid and top had was so much more. It seems like that was really the focus here, top side focus, and Jinx was just there as a safety backup. So yeah, GG to both teams. Good match. 2-0. It goes to Zephyr Ziz.
Now let's see if anyone wants to take an interview. Oh, I cannot ask in the chat. That's great. I'll just text someone here. And my League client is frozen, of course.
The classic, the classic.
So if any member of Zephyr Says wants to get for an interview, let us know in the chat and I will add you straight on League.
Yeah, I was about to say most are in chat right now, so maybe if they're listening, if they're still here.
So we have, also you can do a Doran's interview. Yes, we could. Let's see, I'm getting messages. I mean, yeah, if no one from Zephyr is up for an interview, anyone from Doran's Weakside. Oh, I get a message. Someone has to go, so let's message the other person first and see whether they are up for. If only the League client would work.
That's a big ask.
That is a big ask, isn't it? Well, any takers from Weakside? I mean, if not, then we'll give it a minute for them to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just continue the music for now. Let's see if that.
Yep. Yeah. We're still asking and looking for if we can get an interview for you guys, and otherwise we will end it here. It looks like Team Weakside does not really want to do an interview, so they're kind of tilted, which very understandable. Losers interviews are very hard to do from both sides, so we would love to have someone from Zephyr in here. But we'll see if there's anyone up for that.
We got the Cho'Gath for an interview here. Let's see if we can get him into the Discord. Alright, let's get him into this Discord call. Oh, well, nothing is working. You know what they say, as soon as you start streaming, everything breaks?
It's a classic.
Oh, it's true, man. Okay, let's get him in here. Let's create it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. That was a very convincing victory for you there.
Yes, it sure was. I didn't expect it myself.
Congratulations on both games.
Thank you.
So, let's start with game one. What were your thoughts going into game one?
I mean, I kind of did. Wait, let me quickly grab the draft. But I did like the draft. I hoped my laning phase would have gone better, but I kind of misplayed with my fears, and he knew when to go in. So eventually, I grabbed my focus back up, and I think we played relatively well with a few slip ups here and there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, were there any clear game plans in game one?
I mean, we knew we wanted to play for top. If Olaf got ahead in their team, it would have been it's a free win. So that was mostly our game plan at start, anyway.
Exactly. That's also we thought or expected, and we thought we recognized it in the gameplay. Were there any like specific, I don't know, communication moments where you thought, okay, this is where we really had a nice, convincing victory on the top lane?
To be honest, I just knew that our top lane was ahead by a ton. He kept getting more levels and levels. So I knew once we started fighting with the Olaf, our top laner, we would win the fight, as we saw at the last fight as well. Because we didn't really fight a lot with Olaf, therefore we lost some fights. Mm-hmm. And once Olaf started, once we actually had a proper 5v5, I mean a 4v5 I believe, because we got the Yasuo, but we absolutely rolled them.
Exactly.
Yeah, some slip ups in the mid late game with so some messy team fights. Do you think that maybe comes from just being too far ahead and thinking like, oh yeah, we can get away with this, or
Yeah, that's often where we go in the wrong way.
Yeah. It's very understandable.
Yeah.
hard to keep focused when you think, oh, this game's in the bag, but then you still have to really focus.
I mean, we
to
did really keep in mind that they have a really they scale really hard. So we needed to end fast, but it was difficult because they have a lot of wave clear with the Veigar. But we managed to get it done eventually.
Yeah, exactly. It was after all, it looked for a moment that Weakside could come back with their Baron grab, but they did some good catches and very well team fighting to finish out game 1.
Yeah, especially the team fights on the on Weakside were kind of spooky. Did you ever feel like, okay, we really have to refocus and make sure we end this like quickly, as you said before? But was there any moment of panic?
I mean, eventually, yeah, there was some sort of moment of panic after we lost the team fight and they got Baron. But we didn't really have to say to each other like, let's grab focus. We all knew that the threat that they had.
That's good. So yeah, that's something you get by just playing a lot together, right? Because
I guess, yeah.
Because you do have a lot of subs and varying teammates, right? How does that work for you?
We don't. This is our main lineup. We do have a substitute, but I don't believe he has played a game.
Wait, I'm actually confused with Weakside, where you swap members a lot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. So it makes sense then that you don't have to say these things because you play together for so long. You just
we've been stumped by scaling comps too often to let this happen.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have any changes in strategy for game 2 or?
I guess they left the Cho'Gath open, and Cho'Gath is kind of a pick I picked up lately. We really like the Cho'Gath Sejuani combo for the lots of CC, and it works really well with the Hail of Blades.
Right, that's the strat. Yeah. That does sound very, very interesting. Yeah, getting the normal stun off from Sejuani and then following up with the Rapture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it works really well. I've been playing a bunch of solo queue with Cho'Gath as well, having a lot of success. So yeah, that's kind of our pick right now.
Yeah. We noticed that as well. But then, as Cho'Gath was a top laner in the previous game, we were also sort of expecting it to go top lane as well, especially because Vladimir does have a very good matchup into the Akali. But
true.
I guess Cho'Gath does as well.
Yeah.
How did you feel your laning phase went this time?
Well, I believe I caught him once out of he didn't expect the damage, I think. Because Hill of Blades Cho'Gath, it's not something you see every day.
Yeah, exactly.
But and afterwards the jungler also made a mistake by flash queuing. I think he missed his E or something. And we could kill him, and then I was 3-0, and I think the enemy mid laner was a bit tilted after that. Because he played really well in the first game, and the second game,
very rough.
Yeah, it was very rough.
Exactly. We had quite some high hopes on the Akali, given the mechanical level that the Yasuo had shown. But this was indeed a very nice turning point for you guys on the mid lane, just absolutely rolling over them. What surprised me though was in all your previous games in the Academy League, all the games you've won through bot lane. It seems like every game you had a vet AD carry. So what changed in the strategy here?
Well, game 1 we really played for top side. Game 2 we started out playing for bot side, but I just got really fed. I guess it worked out last game really well, like the first game with the fed Olaf. Nice. It's in the DSL matches we haven't really seen it, but when we play flags, sometimes our top laner really takes over the game. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't always happen. Nice. And we usually play for bot lane.
So indeed, in the second game, you indeed started on the bot lane, and then you kind of adjusted your game plan. Like, guys, I'm an absolute Godzilla at this moment. You can play around me. Was that how it went?
Yeah, so basically.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to know that you do have the versatility to be able to do that if the opportunity arises for it.
Then I guess we'll move on to the final question. Is there any MVP in your team who you think deserves a nice shout out?
Well, I think. Well, let me see. I think Steven, our support, even though he says he plays really bad, he always keeps up mentality and he keeps his focus and yeah, makes good calls. So here's to Steven.
Nice.
Then thank you very much for the interview. Congratulations on your convincing victory.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
And good luck in your next matches.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful evening.
You guys, the same.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later.
All right. Then with this, we will end the stream. Thank you all for watching. This has been our first stream together as a new casting duo. If you have any feedback, let us know in the chat. Again, thank you for watching. This has been an amazing first stream. Wonderful 2 games. Great fights. Great rotations.
Only some technical difficulties.
Some technical difficulties on Rito's part. But this has been our stream, and we'll see you at the next one.
Bye-bye. See you later.